Welcome to the Notorious Scoundrels, a Star Wars Legion podcast bringing you the latest news, general perspective, and competitive discussion.
Hello and welcome back to the Notorious Scoundrels. My name is Jay Shalansky, and joining me this week is John Bushfax Bushman and Lucas Technophobia.
Howdy.
How do you say your last name? I didn't want to screw it up.
U-Stick.
U-Stick. Okay. Great.
U-Stick, yeah.
Right.
Pretty straightforward. You can imagine all the fun nicknames you get growing up with that last name.
Well, the problem was I wasn't looking at it, and I was like trying to remember it from memory. I'm like, is it Upstick? Is it Unstick? I was like, no, I'm just going to screw this up.
It's a hard one.
Yeah. And the only reason I got John's was
Really
because he literally puts it on his screen every time. So you guys may have noticed Kyle's not here. He couldn't do this episode because this is our pre-Adepticon episode. So we're actually recording this early. It'll be out early for all of you listening because all of us, including Kyle, are going to be at Adepticon. Which is really exciting. So if any of you are at Adepticon who are listening, we have a booth 104. You could come visit us at the booth. I may or may not be there. I'm going to be running around like a chicken with my head cut off. But you can come visit us at the booth. If I'm not there, I'm probably at the streaming table. Lucas, our man, U-Stick here is going to be running the streaming table, which I'm really excited about. So we're going to be streaming the main event Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then Thursday, we're probably going to do a couple streams of some skirmish games and mostly testing for us to get ready for the big events on Friday. Come say hi, wave at Lucas. Don't distract him too much because I'll fire him. But, just... No, but come say hi to, and then, we'll all be the rest of the team is playing, I think, in the big tournament. So John, Kyle, Evan, the raccoon, the other Evan, everybody's going to be there playing. So that'll be good. So you'll see us, I'm sure we'll be wearing 5th Trooper shirts. And so you'll notice us by the 5th Trooper shirts. We're really excited if you guys couldn't tell. But today's show is going to be mostly about Adepticon. We're going to try to cover what we think the meta is going to be, what we think people are going to be playing at Adepticon. We're going to go over kind of our streaming hours, what we're going to be doing at the booth. And then I'm sure we'll get into other conversations as we do. But first things first is housekeeping. So we're pretty happy to announce last week, John and I teased that we had some tools we were working on. Like Legion HQ and Legion Quick Guide. And the new tool that we have is called Legion Stats. It's legionstats.thefifthtrooper.com. And John, what kind of, I think the name implies, but what are we going to be doing on Legion Stats?
So I'm extremely excited about this because this tool provides all the stats that would take me hours to do after any major tournament. And it was becoming a real taxing thing. And it does it way prettier than I used to be able to output. But it gets any metrics that you can want. It's going to automatically import lists from Tabletop TO if the lists are added as Legion HQ or Tabletop Admiral URLs, which by now I'm hoping all the big tournaments are requiring. Mm-hmm. It gives us stats, all the stats that you're wanting, like faction win rates, comparing Empire versus Republic, Rebels versus Separatists, and so on. It's giving activation stats in chart form and table form. It's giving stats on the bids, unit counts, whether or not a unit is present in 75% of the lists, or just how many tenacities are in the tournament, because there's like 100 in every tournament. I kid you not. Units upgrades, it's giving all of the stats, and we're always looking to add more metrics too. So feel free to shoot me an email. What is it? Jay Bushman?
Yeah,
I think it's Jay Bushman at thefifthtrooper.com. With any metric ideas that you want added to this, and we will get it added right away. This is not my personal product. I do have to give Dr. Power Slam his proper credit, because this is 100% him.
Yep.
I've just been saying, hey, I like this, I want that, and he does it. He's awesome.
Yeah, I've been doing the same thing.
Yeah.
In our little chat, I'm like, nah, I don't want that there. I want this over here. And he's like, okay. Yeah, he's been doing a great job. And like we were talking last week, one of the things besides product that we like putting out is these free tools that are for you, the player, to understand Legion, to help you play Legion, to help you build your list, and now to help you understand what's happening at all these tournaments. And, one of the really cool things that I saw that we have too is you can see stats based on units. So you can go to the little units and then go to like Cassian, and it shows you like what's his global stat point, what's his faction stat point. Like these are really cool. And so like Jon said, we're always looking to grow and make good changes to any of our tools. But I'm really happy to have Legion stats to the 5th Trooper tool family, and just another great tool that we have, including the ELO ratings, right? We didn't talk about that last time. So now
we've had that for a while.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't list it last time with all the tools that we have. So we have Legion HQ, where you can build and save your list. We have Legion Quick Guide, where you can see the rules reference guide in a quick alphabetical tool. We have Legion Stats now, where you can see all the stats from all these tournaments. And we have the ELO ratings, which are the worldwide rankings of all the players. So, we're really excited about all these tools that we're bringing.
We have the regional ELO.
Yep.
So we have the European, North American, and Asia Pacific. Is that what's? Yeah. And then we also have the Invader League ELO.
Yep.
On our website now.
So if you want to know how badly I'm doing in the upcoming Invader League, you're going to find out. So
are you even on the Invader ELO yet?
No.
Nice.
I'm going to be real honest.
Takes 10 games.
Yeah. I play in the round robin, and before they weren't doing regional. And so it was real hard to schedule time.
You're on there, Jay. I see you.
Oh yeah. Whoop, whoop.
Don't get that excited.
But yeah, no, it's real low. But like, you know what I mean? Like it was real hard to schedule times, and that's why they're doing regional this year. And when I found out they were doing regional for round robin, I was like, oh, I'm in, because everybody's on the same time zone as me. So I can get reasonable games in, and people aren't wanting to start a Legion game at midnight my time. And I'm going, what? Like, no, we won't be done till 3 a.m. I got to work tomorrow. Like, what are you talking about? This is crazy. But yeah, so so those are all our tools. Go use them. Let's see what else. Oh, again, we're selling Legion on our website, so you could get proper Legion product. We got a 10% off code if you use SW Legion, which is really cool. We also have our narrative campaign, which is going strong. We're at box 2 of season 2, which for those of you counting is actually box 8. We're going strong and starting to get our story developed in that. And you guys can start seeing where we're heading in that, which I'm really excited about. We are going to be demoing Stormtide. I created a special little mission for Stormtide at Adepticon, which I'm really excited about. So if you're at Adepticon and you want to know about Stormtide, or you've been kind of nervous to pull the trigger, we'll have boxes for sale there, but also we'll have a demo, and you guys can take a look at what's in the box in case you really wanted to know. So we got that going. So I think that's enough for housekeeping, because everything else housekeeping is we're going to be talking about here, because we're going to be talking about Adepticon.
Yeah.
So what do you guys want to talk about first?
It's in 2 days. In 2 days, I will be flying to Chicago.
I will be driving.
Yeah.
3 days from me.
That's right. You're coming in Wednesday. Yeah, I know it's upon us. We've been over here at 5th Trooper Studios. We've been, in a panic, getting all our products ready for the booth, all our booth properties together and all that. And I'm really excited with all the stuff we're bringing. It's going to be good. But yeah, we're about to see, we've seen a bunch of tournaments, but I think this is our first major tournament that AMG is fully backing. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is AMG's first tournament, even if they're not going to be present.
Yep. And so just so if you don't know what we're talking about, Asmodee, the parent company, basically made a declaration that because of COVID, before we all determined that COVID wasn't real anymore, I guess, and have reduced restrictions. Asmodee said they weren't going to any cons in the first quarter of 2022. I think they made that decision back in November, December, when we were at the height of COVID. But now that COVID is kind of back down and restrictions are loosening, they didn't make any of those plans, I would guess, right? And so they didn't want to make any last minute plans to be there. So unfortunately, Asmodee, AMG won't be there. I assume some of their employees will be there, but they won't be having a presence there, which is a bummer. But they are still fully supporting the tournament. They're providing prize support. They're providing, they've got those new skirmish games and the new narrative game that they have going on, and they've provided all the info for that for the staff there. So really exciting. We will get AMG official product for the prize support. We will have official tournament structure, which is great. And not only the first official tournament, but I dare say the largest tournament we've had so far, based on
it does have potential to be bigger than LVO.
Yeah.
At what we're at 124 registered players.
Yep, out of 128. Yeah.
I think LVO was up there too and fell down. People fell off before, so we could get fall off. But LVO landed at 92, or was it 96? It's one of those two. I think it was 92.
I don't remember.
But then 10 games.
Yeah.
LVO was 9 games, and then I only had to play 8. I got lucky.
92.
You got the fancy shindig.
I got the fancy little round 2 buy on Sunday.
Oh.
But for this Adepticon, it'll be 10 games. For a lot of people, potentially only 9 though, because they're doing a play-in round Saturday morning.
Yeah, and so in every respect, I think this is the largest tournament we've had in 2-3 years. So since the last Adepticon, really. So I'm really excited. This is going to be great. Yeah. And I think too, this one has potential to have more of an international presence as well. Because I think a lot more people to Gen Con and Adepticon, you get a lot more international folks.
Worlds invites are on the line.
Yep.
Yeah.
With number 1 getting travel paid for.
Yep.
Travel and lodging. That's a big deal.
Yeah. And I mean, listen, if we want to talk real, we're going to see some quality Legion. I think there's a lot of top players coming to this thing, and I don't know how many of the people who went to Worlds are actually playing in this tournament, but at least half of them, I think. So
yeah, I know Kyle and Luke will both be there. I think I heard LJ is not going to be there.
No,
he's got army stuff going on.
Yep.
Who else? I'm assuming everyone else is going to be there, actually, unless I've heard otherwise.
Yeah. So it's going to be crazy. I'm really excited to see everybody, but to see, I mean, listen, I think, and I'll let you guys weigh in on what this controversial statement. I think this will really tell us what the meta is. Because there's Worlds invites on the line, I think people are going to bring real lists for the first time in any of the tournaments that we've had since the lockdowns have stopped.
I think LVO was real lists.
Yeah, I would agree. 100%. I think LVO
100%,
nearly as competitive, if not as competitive as this will be.
Kanto was different because they had all those prizes for Highlander and most vehicles and all that. So you saw some people skewing for that.
Yep.
But no, LVO was definitely realist, but I think the meta is just so wide right now that it's possible that it has narrowed after LVO coming into Adepticon. The LVO showed people what's good and what's bad, a little bit of what's good and what's bad. But I still think there's a lot of options, a solid 10 plus viable list options that people can bring and that can win the whole tournament.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, like you said, we've had enough games, enough big tournaments that it's becoming clear which are the standout lists. but that number of lists is so big that you have more options than ever. Back in the day, it was like you're playing Tauntauns or Krennic Gunline. And after that, it was like you're playing Staps or Rex if you want to be competitive. This is kind of the first time that each faction has like, 2 or 3 lists that are all top tier.
And I love that. I love that variety. It's like, for me, that's healthy. That's a healthy game.
Yep.
Like, I remember X-Wing veering away from that and not having a lot of variation. And yeah, like Lucas was saying, even Legion had plenty of time, plenty of dark times where only a list or 2 was viable. But this is going to be real good, real exciting tournament. Lots of possibilities. And we are probably going to see some janky stuff too.
Yeah. We know Evan the Raccoon Bulrus is bringing jank. That's all.
Is he, or is he bringing his Vader stuff from Kanto?
I mean, Vader Lat.
I don't think that's jank.
I do.
No, it's Vader trash can.
We'll see. He may. Hey, if he goes deep, I'll eat my words and I'll take it back on the next cast.
Yeah.
No,
another steak dinner for that.
Yeah. We'll put steak dinner on that line. Stupid dice rolling. Can we talk about that for those, Lucas? I don't know if you know what happened last episode.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
I wanted to say, I think I figured out why Kyle wins everything.
Yeah, thank you. That was ridiculous, right? I mean, come on, that was crazy.
Want to do it with your dice? I ain't afraid.
Yeah, I really do, John. I really, really do, because then it's going to be so bad that you'll understand why both of my ELO ratings are in the tube. Yeah, so
or you'll just see this law of large numbers come into play.
All right, so
like, oh, John, maybe you are right.
I would never say that out loud. So, all right, let's take some. I think we know we're going to see a lot of CIS. I think we're going to see a lot of variations of Kalani, Spider, Magna Guards. We know that, right? So, what do you think are going to be some surprise lists that maybe make a deep run at Adepticon? What's like a dark horse?
I think Palp is in a pretty good spot right now. I think if you put like a Luke Cook or someone of that caliber with the Palp, I think you could easily take the event. So I would not be surprised if a top player brings Palp if it goes deep. Right, Palp is still tough to play, but one thing uniquely is the Spider droids are really kind of keeping other armor down at the moment. I think that's also kind of a misconception, but I think it's scaring it enough that the meta has shifted away from vehicles. People are intimidated by that matchup, which, right, Palp is great against everything but vehicles. And since the vehicles have kind of been pushed out, I think this is a great time for Palp.
John?
No, that's true. Palp's not easy to play, but I mean, 124 people, like there's going to be a couple good Palp players. I would love to see Palp across the table, even though I would also hate it. I think bounty hunters, also the double bounty specifically. Double bounty. I just can't, in good faith, back Boba Fett. But Bosk, I think we could see some Bosk doing really well. Bosk with Shores again.
Yep.
The Shores and Mortars. It's a ton of suppression output and it's great counter for melee skews. You know, you get like 3 shots at them before they get into range.
Yeah.
Another dark horse I think isn't quite as popular, but I played it this last week in a local event and went undefeated and felt really great. Was Iden 333, but with dewbacks. So you take Iden, 3 ISF, one of them would be Inferno Squad, 3 Naked Storms, and then 3 dewbacks at T21s and Tenacity. And it is just so gross. And you can bid pretty deep because objectives wise, it's quite strong. Because you can do this crazy flank alpha strike with all the ISF and then have your dewbacks just rushing in. It was a pretty brutal list. So we'll see if anyone brings it. But I think if a good player brings that list, it felt really powerful.
I'm going to make a bold prediction on my dark horse.
Ooh,
You ready?
Here we go.
I think a Rex gunline makes a deep run.
Rex?
Yeah. Here's why.
Clone Captain Rex.
Yeah. Here's why. I don't think it's as bad as everybody's playing it out to be. I think it's still super strong, and in the right hands, I think it still does what it's always done, which is eat up enemy lines. And I think if we're seeing a lot of CIS, like we're still seeing Wookiees, right? Like that's still, but not as prevalent as we're now seeing CIS. And I think a Rex gunline plays a strong role against those lists. And I think you could definitely see going the distance.
My issue, so I totally agree with that. That it has a real good CIS matchup, and since it's popular, I just think it has such a tough time against like a Vader or a burst of speed Luke or Yoda. That right in a 10-round event, I don't think you're gonna be able to dodge those lists. And if you go up against a good player, like Darth Vader is brutal against a Rex gunline right now. Like,
well, okay, so let's define deep run.
Is it though? Because like a good Rex gunline list, if it's going against sabers and against melee, they stand by.
Yep.
And then they could still do fire support off of standby, and it's disgusting. I think they're great poised against melee and against anything.
Yeah,
I'm calling it. Let's see what I'll put them in the top 8. How's that? I'll put a Rex
in the top 8.
A Rex gunline in the top 8. Yep.
I'll put a stake on that.
All right.
I don't want any part of that.
I'll get you a stake.
You think a Rex pure gunline is gonna get top 8?
Here's why.
As in no Wookiees.
No
Wookiees.
Like the classic.
All clones.
Here's why. They did have some nerfs, okay? But token sharing is still very, very good. Mm-hmm. Arcs are still good. Rex is still good. Like these are all still good things. Anyone who was really strong at the Rex gunline before is still going to be strong at it today. And if I was going to Adepticon, which I'm not, I think I would probably go back to double heavies because I'm going to go back to the thing that I know the best and try to win, right? So I think we're going to see a number of people who have been playing Rex gunline for the last 2 years or whatever, go back to that and go, listen, it's still strong enough to get me past melee, to get me past CIS. Do I have to worry about certain things? Yes, but I'll deal with those things when I get to them. And so I could see somebody going, you know what? I'm really good at this list. Why change it up now? I need to do what I'm best at and bring that to this big tournament.
Yeah, I think my counter for Rex gunline is I feel like Empire gunlines are quite good now. And you can just bring Vader into Empire gunline also. And I think like with the Empire gunline against a Rex, like your gunline is equally as strong, but you also got Vader.
But I think the tactics strategy, right? For like John was saying is you get the bid, you take the objective and you just sit and wait. Stand by, aim, like wait for them to come to you and then just murder anything that comes near those objectives, right?
Yeah.
What about those Civil War snipers that you can't touch?
Yeah.
They're shredding apart your entire gunline with low profile, high velocity pierce and just each turn removing 3 models.
Yep, that's true.
I mean, the line of sight hopefully is a thing.
Yeah.
I'm calling it. That's
top 8. That's a bold claim.
Yep. I mean, that was what that whole segment was about, boys. Dark horses.
There's a lot of Rebel options.
You got to bet. Well, that's why I wasn't going to say Rebel's a dark horse because I think there's so many different. I don't even know that you could.
What about tons?
Yeah, dude. I think you could.
Everything's just good in Rebels right now.
Tons. Yeah,
it is.
Dude, that triple Wookiee list that you and I both faced at Kanto was nasty.
That is a rough list to play. I got super lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if dice were the same, like in another game against that list, I would lose.
Yeah.
Like just that simple.
Dude, it's super nasty. Like this is what I'm talking. And I mean, I think there's a few things that are just not great in the game, but I would say most of the things are great in this game. Even things like Tauntauns or Rex that they nerfed. I think this is that same conversation, right? It's saying, yeah, they got nerfed, but they're still stupid good, especially if you know how to play them, right?
Yeah, I don't think there's too many armies that are just like complete garbage that you can't win with. I think the tough part with the bigger event is you got to go all 10 games. And typically the thing holding back those lists is, one or two really bad matchups.
Consistency. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they get an unlucky match,
yeah,
an unlucky pairing, then.
But I would argue every list has an unlucky pairing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's no one list that doesn't have an unlucky pairing.
I think that Separatist list, one of the reasons why it's so popular is it's kind of an all-comers against everything. Like some are tougher, but I think what's so consistently good is it doesn't smoke any armies necessarily, but like there's no armies that just straight smoke it. So like if you play it well, you can have pretty consistent results.
Yeah.
I think an op Luke with Rebel dodge spam is a bit of an all-comers. No one's going to toe-to-toe Luke in melee, and it's great against the range 4 plinking of the droids, and it puts out a lot of firepower. I think that's pretty close to an all-comers.
Yeah. I still think there's definitely some lists that are in that top tier of hyper competitive that we haven't seen at a previous event. Like that Rebel list you're talking about, I think is definitely one.
Yeah.
I think Empire has a lot of other stuff to explore besides like Vader Dues, because Vader Dues, don't get me wrong, is amazing. But I think everyone's really funneled there. Right? I think there are some other options like ATST or Iden, Triple Dues. Vader Dues is just kind of taking the spotlight.
Right.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how many people go Empire and in, I don't know. What do you think? I'm going to say 20 lists.
20 out of 128?
Yeah.
You just like to bet,
more than that.
Only when there's literally nothing on the line.
32 is the expected number if all things are equal. 20 is pretty low. I think we see closer to 25, 30.
Yeah, I'd shoot around 28 if we're betting.
Despite the win rates at these tournaments of each faction presence has looked pretty equal so far.
And maybe you're right. I don't know. I'm just being controversial and throwing numbers out. But like, in my mind,
shooting them down.
I feel like with the World's Invite on the line, it's going to be even more competitive than the tournaments we've seen before, right? So
that's true.
If I'm looking at, let's say right now, I've played a version of that Kalani list that I really like. I have a Luke Sabine list that I think is really good and competitive. And then I have, Empire or whatever. If all things being equal and I go, okay, I'm good at all these lists, which one am I going to bring? Or I'm going to bring that droids list, right? Because I know that one is a solid winner. Luke Sabine is a little bit of a betting man's list, right? It's good, but it has a lot of highs and lows, as most Force users do, right? And then, double ATST, triple dewback is strong, but I don't know that it could survive some of the CIS onslaught that's happening right now, right? So I don't know. I'm just saying, if I'm looking to take what's best for me to go as deep as I can, I'm going to go with the most competitive list that I can go with.
Would you go most competitive or the one you're most comfortable with?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think most competitive in my case, because the one I'm most comfortable with isn't as competitive. I really have to make that one. Like I have to work that one into competitive, and it's only competitive because I know it so well. But it definitely has its shortfalls. And in a large tournament like that, I don't know that I could sustain 10 rounds with that list.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want to think about the 10 rounds aspect. It definitely terrifies me.
Right, because but maybe now I'm talking myself out of it, because now I'm thinking, I'm like, yeah, but if I'm going 10 rounds, I want a list that's just auto for me, right? So I don't have to think about it. But the problem with that ATST dewback list is it's really hinges on them coming at you, right? You just say, okay, I have 2 ATSTs, I have 3 dewbacks and 3 snipers and a bunch of little core guys. I don't know, do something about it, and if they can, like, spiders come and take out your ATSTs, well, then you're in a world of hurt, and things start going bad fast. So I don't know though.
Wait. I thought ATSTs destroyed spiders. What is this now?
I think they do, but I mean, rolls are rolls, right? Sometimes.
Oh, okay.
What if it doesn't?
I see us rolling back our previous confidence.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's right.
Just making hot takes and reining them in the next.
Yeah,
guy.
I think we all do that when big stuff's on the line, right? Like, we feel really confident, but then when you start thinking about, all right, the world is on the line, and this is really important. Can that ATST really survive that onslaught? And I guess 1 versus 1, ATST versus spider, I take the ATST every day. But when I look at the rest of those lists, and like you start seeing like the Magna Guard, and you start seeing, like Kalani, and it starts getting really muddy, and you're like, well, okay, sure, ATSTs can take care of those spiders, but now I've got a Magna Guard or 2 and Kalani giving them dodge and aim, like all kinds of crazy stuff going on, and like how am I going to take care of them? So it just becomes a little bit more of a question mark.
Yeah, they're so good.
Yeah, dude, Magna Guard are stupid good, especially with Kalani.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
so what are you taking to Adepticon? Oh, Jay, you're not playing. Oh, wait, it's just me.
It's just you. So what are you taking?
No.
You don't have to tell the list, but like,
no, it's fine. List will be locked by the time it's announced, right?
I don't know when our list lock.
Tonight.
Okay.
I mean, Sunday night, when we're recording this.
Today's Sunday, everybody.
Yes. Hey, it's Sunday.
Hey, we're so dedicated to this podcast. We're taking time away from our families on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
To record a podcast for you. Just so I hope you appreciate this.
Time away from my whole family.
Yeah. I had to wake up from a nap to come record this. It was such a good nap. So
I guess before John tells us what he is actually bringing, with what you're just talking about, Jay, with what you're comfortable with versus what you think is good, what would you take to Adepticon if you're going?
Okay, if I was going today, I would bring that. I forgot how many episodes it was ago. Jon and Kyle were on, and I gave out a Kalani double spider AAT list. That's what I would bring, because it, like you said it, it's that all comers list. Like, it's just like, I know that list can handle most things, and I probably may tweak it to throw in a Magna Guard now that I've seen them play, and because they're stupid.
So hard to kill.
Yeah, they're stupid good, especially against like force users and stuff. So I may toss that in, but yeah, a version of that, because I think it's a solid list that I would feel comfortable, because I've been playing Luke Sabine a lot, and I'm going to be playing that in Invader League. That's what I locked in at with Luke Sabine. But it's a gamble list, and I'm not really great at it yet, right? But with that Kalani droids list that I made, like almost every activation, you have perfect order control, and you have things that can handle most what you're going to see. And even without putting Magna Guards in that, between the spiders and the AAT, if you've got a force user, I'm just going to toss all the dice. What is that? 20 dice into that force user and be like, okay, fine. You got a force user. That's great. Here's 20 dice. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Like, all right, if you make it through that, then you deserve to get in my lines.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I would bring. I'm torn. I've been really liking like a Vader dewback gun line, similar to I played at LVO, but I might bump it up to 3 dewbacks, because dewback. I was taking 2 dewbacks, 2 snipers, 4 stormtroopers, a specialist T-21s, and then an officer and Vader. I think I would drop a stormtrooper squad for another dewback, just because my thought with that is, other strike teams, right, with low profile, you're kind of just fishing for crits, and dewbacks like have kind of sneaky more range than you expect because they can move with relentless and back up. So I'd probably do that list or potentially the Iden one I played this weekend. So the Iden 333. It'd come down to kind of like you're saying, comfort or not. The Iden list felt amazing, but I've only played 4 games with it, whereas I've played something similar to a Vader Dewback Gunlight LVO and did fine.
Yeah. And what I would say, like, here's why I differ with that and why I'm struggling with that. The Kalani lists, most of those lists are kind of like, because of the order of control, because of the tools you have, this is going to be controversial. They are a lower kind of like what's entry level in my mind, because they're a lot easier to play. You have all your activations. You're not waiting for you have everything available to you, and you're just playing the basic strategies of Legion at that point, right? And you're just going, okay, here's what I have. Here's how it's going to work. Boom, I'm just going to go. But with like, the ATSTs and the dewbacks and all that stuff, in my mind, it's a little bit more harder because you have to you're forcing positions in order for that list to work, versus the Kalani list. You're not really forcing positions. You're lining up and going, all right, I'm just going to shoot you until you die at this point.
Yeah, I think gun lines in general have a lower floor, or a higher floor. That's the term, right? Yeah. Gun lines in general have a higher floor, but also still really high ceiling. Yeah. Because that's what I started with as well. I think it's just like the techniques of kiting and like moving around with range bands and like outranging someone is a lot easier to like figure out in your head than diving with melee units. I think that's why, like, for example, force users, people say are hard to use because they're so timing. So I want to say that like these gun lines are easy to play by any means. Like a good player is gonna make them shine. But I get what you're saying. I played gun lines for the longest time exclusively because I was scared of melee units.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not disparaging anyone. I'm saying that for me too, is that I like that, like it's a higher floor, right? Because it's just like, okay, I can put it on the table. There's not a lot of tricks to it as far as confusing, like, when do I play activations? When do I do that? Because you just have everything available to you and you're just like, yeah, all right, well, you're at range 4. Okay, I'm going to shoot with this spider for 6 dice, and get 2 aims on it now. So I'm going to re-roll 8 of these dice. Good luck, I guess. It's just an easier thing than trying to time Luke to pop out and kill things, right?
I think maybe a better way of put it than saying it's easy to play is it leans on the fundamentals of Legion.
Yeah.
Whereas other lists might skew into something really specific. Like, for example, being an armor player, I don't play any armor, like, rarely ever, because I don't know all the tricks that come with that, thinking about weak points, ion, the fact that you can overlap KPs, so like when you'd rush in, and then even more of like a melee skew list plays quite a bit differently. And I think the unique thing about that droid list is it's like the fundamentals of the game, and so everything you've learned is very applicable to it, whereas like a Yoda tank, Saber, and Padme list like has very particular techniques and strategies to that's not applicable anywhere else. So I don't know if it's necessarily easier to play, but I think more people can fit into that because they already know how to play that list.
Yeah, and listen, again, I don't mean that disparagingly to anyone playing droids. I meant that for me, I find it easier, and I think you're right, because it's just core Legion. Like, hey, this is how you play Legion. Play this list, you'll be fine. Where with Luke, it's you got certain cards that play at certain times, and you got to be careful when you play it. I mean, John knows, he's played Luke forever, and so it's just a lot more thinky tank on some of those other lists.
So now we've done all these whataboutisms. What are you playing, John?
Yeah, so I was pretty torn between Rebels and Republic. Rebels, I've been a Rebel player for so long, and Luke has served me well, but I haven't ever won a non-local tournament with Luke. That's not to say it can't be done. I think it has. Has it been done? Any of the big ones?
I don't know if there's ever been a high-profile event that's been won by Luke. Now I think about it, he's always like
He's always up there, but not first. Well, now I want to take Luke. No, I'm not doing it.
Don't do it.
Yoda, Chewie, and Wookiees still. I think it's a good time for them. I think it has a very high ceiling that I haven't by any means tapped yet. And you just have a lot of control if you know your capabilities. And I feel like every game, a lot of my games have been very stressful, but every game has been in my own hands. Like I know there's a route to victory.
Yep.
I just have to find it, and that's what I want. I'm gonna need a lot of brain food because my brain's gonna be on overdrive for 10 freaking games, but hopefully 10 games. But yeah, so the same. Hopefully at least 8. Even. Yeah. No, hopefully 7. Hopefully 7, because hopefully I get to skip the play-in round on Saturday. Yep. But so same list I took to Canto Bite: triple Wookiee, Yoda, Chewie, and 3 phase 1s. Yeah, I changed some battle cards and command cards around, but
I mean, I think that's good, right? Like you've been doing well with it. You've faced a lot of other lists with it, so you kind of know what to expect out there. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I didn't face a lot of gun lines at Canto Bite, but since then I've played against a lot of gun lines, and did surprisingly well. Learned a couple things. I think I took 2 losses playing TTS games, but I know what I could have fixed. So I feel okay about those losses.
Yeah, it's always a good feeling when it's like a very clear to yourself reason why you lost the game. It's something you can change for the future, because then right? Yeah. It's player error, not your army.
Yes.
Well, yeah, and that's funny, because that game that Kyle and I were talking about last time that I played against him with his Anakin clone sharing bull crap. Like I made a mistake, but I clearly know what the mistake was now, and it won't. I swear to God, it'll never happen again, because I know exactly what it was that I did wrong. Which I think when we play again, I can give him a much tougher game, because now I know, right? And I think that's the thing about reps, and kind of what I was getting at with you, John. Is like, dude, you've played this list enough against, and this was the same with me with the ATSTs, right? It doesn't apply anymore because the meta shifted so much since last I've played them. But like, you've played it so much. You've played against almost most permutations of lists that are available out there that people are going to be bringing. So if you haven't won some of those, you at least know what to expect and know what you did wrong that didn't get you the win. So now you can apply that in real life,
Right.
Yeah, I like that. All right, so that's kind of our thoughts on the tournament. So now let's talk about what we're going to be doing at Adepticon. Lucas, like I said, is going to be our main man, our number one number one agent in the field or something. I don't know. He's going to be the guy doing the stream.
Boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground. That's the word I was looking for. So he's going to be running our Legion stream. I'm going to be popping in and out, I'm sure, as other community members are going to be as well. So for those of you that want to watch the stream, we're going to be doing it right on our YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribe now, and then you'll get the little alert when we go live. Thursday of the tournament, we're going to be doing some testing and maybe some skirmish matches, and just kind of getting ourselves settled for the big tournament. Mm-hmm. Friday and Saturday, we will be live from 9 a.m. ish to 10 p.m. ish. That is Central Time, right? We'll be in Central Time. So that'll be Friday and Saturday. And then Sunday, I believe, is around 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. ish, because there's only 2 rounds on Sunday. So if you're looking to chat it up with Lucas, want to watch live, get on that stream. It'll also be, we'll be saving that as video on demand, because that's what YouTube does. So it'll be available video on demand afterwards. So if you miss it, you can always just catch it that evening, or, if you don't want to watch live and you just want to like fast forward through all the, parts you don't want to see, you can do that later. So, but join us live. It'll be fun. Yeah, go ahead, Lucas.
Yeah, and feel free to chat with us. Like, there's a chat box that you can interact with. We're all very friendly, and we'll be having different
people. Speak for yourself.
Yeah, maybe when Jay's on there, watch what you say. But we'll probably be having some people from the 5th Trooper on, as well as and some other community members from maybe some podcasts or shows you may be familiar with that will pop on as well.
Yeah, we're also going to be, so I'm going to apologize to Lucas real quick because we had a pre-show meeting and I didn't mention this, and so this is going to be news to Lucas, but we're also going to be giving away Legion product on the stream. So we will have a giveaway form, Lucas, that you can send them to that will be giving away Legion product during the stream or after the stream, whatever's easier for us. And but you will be notified. We got a bunch of Legion prizes that we're going to be giving out, so I'm really excited about that too. Lucas just got really nervous. No, just kidding.
Another thing I have to worry about.
Oh God, I'm going to write you a whole script. Everything for the whole 10-hour stream is a 12-hour stream is going to be scripted, so don't worry about it. There's no words out of place, or you'll get. See,
here's the thing, though. I don't trust you to make me a 10-hour script. You're gonna slip something in there, and
it'll be a 20-minute script that you do on repeat. Oh, look at that move!
Look at those dice rolls. This is a really interesting game. Jay Shalansky is the best Empire player ever, and Lucas is whoa. What am I saying?
If this was Jay Shalansky, he'd be winning right now. So look for that. I'm gonna put together the schedule and put it up on our social media stuff. I'll probably share it around the other Legion spheres so that you guys know when the schedule is. And then if you're coming to Adepticon, we're gonna have a booth there. We're gonna be selling minis. We're gonna be selling Stormtide. We're gonna be selling Legion product. We're gonna have everything your heart could desire. The only thing we won't have is our mats, because they are big and nobody wants to carry those home from a show. So you can order those on the website, but everything else we'll have, which I'm really excited about. You can come talk and say hi. I'm trying to think, this is going to be a tough question because you guys are both going to be mostly occupied for the whole time. But when you go to a show like this, what are the things you look forward to doing outside of the tournaments? Yep, I knew we were gonna get that.
I mean, I haven't been to a con since Gen Con. It's like Las Vegas, LVO didn't count as a con in my mind. Like Gen Con and Adepticon are the two really on stateside where they have vendors. They have like a plethora of vendors. So I'm excited just to browse the vendors. It's been 3 years, and maybe have to buy another suitcase to bring stuff back in.
Dude, with those, with the Adepticon via passes there with all the free stuff. Oh my God, it's crazy.
Yeah,
what free stuff?
So if you get a certain level badge, you basically get. There's like, I think, what was it? The last Adepticon, it was you got the full Ice and Fire game, the Game of Thrones, like the full thing. The one before that was a Legion core set. Like you get a ton of stuff in these bags.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a big deal. What were we gonna say, Lucas?
I was just gonna say, I think the last time
let's interrupt him again. No, just sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I'll go back to the script.
Yeah, this is you're off script.
No, I was just gonna say, I don't think I've been to like an actual con since I was really little. I went to like Gen Con back when I was in like 8th grade and played in a Pokemon cards tournament
last year.
And for that, a little longer ago than that. But
it was 3 years ago, Jay.
Actually 4. No, they had just put out the Star Wars minis game, if you guys remember that, by Wizards of the Coast.
Oh yeah.
So I remember playing that there, and then Star Wars Celebration, same thing. Funny story with that. So Star Wars Celebration, which is just a Star Wars convention, And so my whole family went, and I just sat at the Star Wars Minis booth because for every game you played, you got to roll a dice and get a free model. But I literally spent an entire 3-day convention just playing Star Wars Minis. My parents the whole time were like, "You need to get up and go." So I've been this way for a long time, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, good.
What a nerd.
Well, is that how it works? So, like for the stream, for every hour that you stream, you'll roll a dice and we'll determine how much you're going to get paid for that hour.
Oh, heck yeah. How many different sprues you'll give me?
Yeah. How many? What? Instead of giving away one of the Legion products to the listeners, you get it on a 6.
Ooh.
Out of 100.
Spicy.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think what else. That's most of what we're doing. This is this podcast will be out Monday, and so the next time you'll hear from any of us will be Thursday on our YouTube channel, and you could just go to YouTube and search up the Fifth Trooper and you'll find it. And we'll be live on there starting Thursday at some time. I don't know what time on Thursday, but Friday for sure at 9 a.m. And you can come talk Legion with us. You can come heckle Lucas. You can, I don't know.
Heckling is very encouraged.
Yeah.
Very encouraged.
You can try to, I don't know,
try and make him cry.
Yeah. Well, don't
is that a sub goal? If someone makes me cry, they win a new core set.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Can I sponsor you something like that?
I'll create a graphic for it right now. Just somebody like kicking a puppy. That's the graphic. We got another Lucas sub goal.
I love it.
Yeah.
So maybe a good question for listeners who haven't been to Adepticon. So this is gonna be my first Adepticon. So as we talk about what things are excited, like what kind of booths are there? Right. I assume there's different companies showing new games and giving demos.
Yeah, I think this year is going to be weird because like we said at the top of the cast, Asmodee and AMG won't be there. But, what they used to do, Lucas, Fantasy Flight used to sell product before it was released to the public there. So that bit them in the butt because of the debacle. For those of you not in the know, when Dewbacks,
I forgot about that.
I think Dewbacks were at Gen Con maybe, Gen Con or Adepticon. Gen Con. When the Dewbacks came out and they did the pre-sale at Gen Con, the Dewbacks, instead of coming with the base they have today, they came with the ATST base, which is completely wrong. And so any of us who got it at Gen Con had to fill out a form to get the right base sent to us. But I often wonder, I think I've brought it up on this cast before or one of the other ones. It's like, do you think there's guys out there or girls out there that bought those Dewbacks from Gen Con and are like playing Legion with the Dewback on an ATST list still because they're not part of the community and didn't know that they needed to get a new base? I bet you there's one.
I mean,
I remember when it came out and on Facebook, everyone was posting these photos and they're like, is this how big the base is supposed to be? Like, I feel like it's really unnecessarily large.
Yeah, we had a fun run of Debacle shirts. That was fun that we did. But the Adepticon, they had the tank and the speeder, the small speeder that you could buy early. They usually do stuff like that, or like X-Wing. They had like a special X-Wing ship you could only get at Adepticon, and stuff like that. It's really cool. And the other nice thing is, like you said, with the minis, Star Wars minis games, same thing. You could go demo games and you get like cool little things for demo in a game, or you get to see games early, or it's pretty cool. I think Adepticon's one of the ones that's more focused on the tournaments, though, and like the vendor hall's not as big as like Gen Con, like the Gen Con vendor hall.
Yeah,
the vendor hall's still huge.
But
you're right. Gen Con was easily like double, triple the vendors.
Yeah.
But there's lots of events and stuff too that I never pay attention to because, like, relatively speaking to all the other war gamers in our community. I'm still a pretty new war gamer. But I know there's lots of events to be seen.
Yep.
I need to look at them and see if any of them are still open. Probably none of the good ones.
Yeah, I think AMG's doing like an announcement. Okay, so here's the odd thing. I don't know this for a fact, so this is hearsay. Let me start there. I heard that AMG was doing I don't know if they're doing it anymore, but in the past, FFG's done a launch like thing at Adepticon where you go in a meeting room and like that's where they talked about Clone Wars and introduced Clone Wars to the world was at Adepticon. It was always free in the past. You just had to make sure tickets were limited. But I heard this year that did you have to buy tickets to get into that this year?
No, I don't think. I thought that was pulled out because AMG's not present.
Oh, maybe they pulled it out. Yeah, I have no idea. But yeah, I mean, they do stuff like that where they have the announcements of new product and you can go, or there's other like, I've been to a couple of the like game developers symposiums where they'll have like 3 or 4 game developers up on a stage and like doing like a question answer type thing and talking about being game developers, which is always super cool to hear. So yeah, there's a lot of neat stuff going on. Too bad you're going to be streaming for most of it, pal.
Ain't no rest for the wicked.
Yeah. Nah, we'll get you a breaker and get you out there. You'll get to see some stuff.
You're taking good care of me.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm not being held hostage. I swear. This is all. I swear.
Hey, I saw that.
Cut him off.
Gonna have to edit that out.
All right, I have one last question. This is the most important question that we've had on this entire podcast, and we're going to leave the podcast on your answers. Are you ready? There are 4 people from the 5th Trooper crew who are going to be playing in this tournament. How many of those 4 make it to the top 10?
Oh, don't do this.
So let's name them. We
this.
got Kyle, we got Bushman, we got Evan the Raccoon, and we've got Evan the blog writer.
Is 10? Alice playing?
No, she's not. She's doing
Warhammer. AOS, right?
Yeah, she's doing AOS.
So we got 4 people.
4 people. How many of don't tell me who, just how many of the 4 are making top 10? And then I'll tell you who I think it's going to be.
Oh my God. You're a monster.
You are.
I'm going to say, I think 2. I think half of the group can make it up there.
Okay, Bushman.
I think 2 can make it.
All right.
I don't. Even if I'm not one of them, I think 2 can make it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think half the 5th Troopers. I won't say who I think it's going to be.
Thank God.
No, I will. It's going to be.
I'm looking at the ELOs here. Quite a few are
dark horse from behind. It's going to be Jay for the win.
Wait,
he wasn't even in the tournament. Oh, Grammar too. Shoot, I forgot. 5. Yeah, 5.
Top 10 is a small number, though.
Yeah,
I still am staying with 2.
Yeah, I'm more comfortable with 2 now. But
all right, 5. Sorry, Grammar. He's going to be so mad. Out of all our staff, only his shirt was the one that they screwed up.
Oof.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and now I forgot he was in the tournament. I am so sorry, buddy.
Subliminal messages here.
I'm so sorry.
Subtle hints.
We got the other thing. We got a lot of staff, a lot of writers.
Yeah.
2 podcasts. We got a lot of stuff going on. Sorry.
Yeah, Oof. The Discord channel has gotten quite a bit bigger, quite fast.
Yep. And then finally, the most important thing is that if any of you want to meet Rachel, she will be working the booth. So I know there's a lot of Rachel fans. Is her podcast that she was on was one of our most popular podcasts on the 5th Trooper, beating out even our interview with Sam Witwer, Darth Maul himself. The Rachel pod. Oh, she doesn't let me live that down. I should have never told her those numbers. She beat out Sam Witwer and Elizabeth Gruan, the second sister interviews. For those of you who don't know, I did 2 interviews with people. No one seemed to care, and so I never did it again.
I listened to both of them. Yeah. And the Rachel interview.
Yeah, more people listen to the Rachel interview than any of the other ones. So if you want to meet her in person, she'll be at our booth working, because that's what I make everyone do, is work. I don't have any friends or family. I only have employees.
That comes out. Fifth Trooper was a project just to force people to be your friends.
Oh,
you're right there.
Yeah, it's really funny. Yep. Well, on that note, yeah, I guess we can. I think that was a good pre-Adepticon show.
Yeah.
I hope you guys at home enjoyed it. Come see us at Adepticon. If you can't be there, check out our stream. Come heckle Lucas and myself, because I'll be on and off. And yeah, and wish Jon and Kyle and Grammer and the Evans. I'm not even going to say both their names, just the Evans. Wish them all good
now
luck.
You said it twice
at the tournament. Oh, man. It wasn't to save time. It was just not to dignify both of them.
Say it a third time, he might appear behind you.
But yeah, wish them all good luck, and join us next week on the Scoundrels. And yeah, I'm Jay.
I'm Lucas.
And I'm Jon Bushfax Bushman.
Stay salty, lima beans.
There you go.